Welcome back to another episode of My First Car Podcast. I am Dan. He is Jeff. And we
Hi.
are friends.
Why'd
And
you stutter?
lovers. No.
Uh,
It's been a while, Jeff.
Yeah, it has.
I've been busy.
You've been in Portugal?
Well, yeah, that was
Wait.
before. Yeah, that was before.
No, not anymore.
I didn't go again, unfortunately. I mean, I would have loved to, but I didn't go again. But I've been busy. Yeah, real life stuff. Big things are happening. Let's just say that.
Ooh, I'm
That's it.
excited.
Yeah, it's been keeping me very, very busy in real life. So there hasn't been much time for anything really. Even my YouTube stuff is kind of suffering right now. But hopefully this week is going to go a lot easier. It already is. I've already gotten more accomplished this week than I did all of the last 2 weeks combined. So we're off to a
Wow.
good start. Yeah. What have you been up to?
Nah, not a whole lot.
Working?
Yeah, kind of.
Hardly working?
Hardly working for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life, kids.
That'll keep you busy in itself.
Seriously, they're ridiculous.
Right? They're learning and they're growing.
Actually, you know what's crazy? This has nothing to do with cars, but tonight, literally in maybe 10, 15 minutes, I taught my son how to tie his shoes.
Oh, that's a big milestone.
It's crazy. And I was like, I thought this would take like years, but he had
You
it
thought
down
it would
and-
take years?
I don't know. It's not an easy thing to do, but
I guess he's a smart guy, though. I mean, you got a smart cookie there.
man, that was cool. So yeah, he can tie shoes.
And next thing you know, he'll be getting married.
Uh,
No,
maybe 25 years from
25 years from now. Wow, you really wanted
now.
to take his time on that one.
If you ask him, he says, "Well, I'll live with mommy and daddy until I'm 35."
Okay, that's decent.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people are
Yeah.
doing that these days.
Oh yeah, millennials, right?
Absolutely. Well, life is tough nowadays. It isn't like, well, my dad and my mom came over. You could buy a house for like 75 grand and have it paid off in
Oh
a few
my
years.
goodness. Yeah, seriously.
That's ridiculous. Now it's just nuts. Anyway, we digress.
On with the show.
I guess we should thank all our patrons, all our supporters, and all the multiple mediums that we use. We really appreciate the support, and we hope to bring you this podcast more regularly. Totally my fault. I'll take full responsibility for this one. I really have been. I mean, I can't tell anybody right now because yeah,
It's good. You'll
it's
be
good.
happy
It's a
when
good
you see
thing.
it.
Yeah, it's a good thing for sure. It's just keeping me very, very busy. Anyway, let's talk about sightings.
All right. Right
Let's go with
right
you
into it.
first, because you have a couple of them today.
Yeah, so well, one of them's kind of interesting, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Oh, my first sighting is a 2018 Honda Civic.
Oh,
Now,
that's disappointing.
I know. Just wait. I don't know about the U.S., but in Canada we have a place called Canadian Tire.
Uh-huh.
Inside of Canadian Tire is an automobile section, mostly filled with stuff for teenagers when Fast and the Furious came out.
Yeah, still.
Still
Mhm.
to this day, there's
Yep.
like shift knobs and like covers you can put over your pedals.
Don't forget those Tweety Bird floor mats.
Tweety Bird floor mats, car seat covers, everything you can, like every accessory that you don't actually need,
Right.
you can get there.
Yeah.
This car had, I think, the entire section on it.
The
Like
entire...
there was everything on the outside, and I could see in the inside. There was stuff on the dash. There was seat covers. There was like little shiny, like the reflective tape strips all along the outside of the car.
Oh,
There was stuff
wow.
added everywhere.
That, my friend, is a person who loves his vehicle but doesn't really know what he's doing, or she.
Oh
is
my
doing.
goodness. Oh, I don't know the yeah.
It's kind of weird. That kind of falls in line with the people. I mean, I guess that guy, was the car in good shape?
It was in great shape, brand
Okay.
new. Yeah, it looked great.
So he takes pride in ownership. I'd rather that kind of guy than the guy who, drives around the neighborhood blasting his 109 horsepower Honda Civic, thinking just because he got some lowering springs and a muffler that it's all of a sudden a race car or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was just, it blew my mind that, like, I remember when I was a teenager, Fast and the Furious came out. I bought the shifter, like the little shift knob to replace mine.
The short shifter or just like a little knob?
It was a shortened version of my shifter because the old Eagle Talons had a long
Yeah.
leather one
Yeah,
or a tall leather one.
right.
but this was a nice little metal one. It looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy had everything.
What did I
It
do?
was it. Oh,
I
yeah.
think I don't remember. I don't think I changed my shifter out, but I remember specifically buying for my Ford Focus. I specifically bought carbon fiber pedals, like
I
carbon fiber Sparko pedals.
I had the silver and carbon fiber pedals.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the only thing really that I got. I don't even think I got a muffler. Come to think of it,
No.
yeah.
Well, he had the like because on the new Civics, I don't remember what the stock ones look like, but the base models, I don't think you can really see the exhaust that well.
Okay,
I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But he had like the shiniest tips you've ever seen on it.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
it,
Well, I
it
mean,
was a work of art.
you should have taken a picture, man.
I was driving on the highway.
You see some great stuff at Canadian Tire parking lots too. Like I saw a Chrysler. I posted it on Twitter actually. A Chrysler 300 that was just chromed out. Everything, every accessory you can think of on the outside of the car had chrome on it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It even had like those little shark gill things, except they were
Oh
in chrome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, you gotta let
What
that.
color was the car?
It was grayish greenish.
Ooh.
Like you know that like it's not really green, but it's not really gray. That's the only way I know how to explain
Sure.
what it was. Yeah, and like the big chrome wheels. All of the lines on the car, like with the door seams and stuff, they were all like chrome edged.
Wow.
It was really strange.
That's
vehicle.
hardcore. So these guys
Yeah.
could probably be like best friends.
They probably could
Mm-hmm.
hang out in Canadian Tire automotive section together. It really
What
is
would be
kind
the-
of weird that they still sell all that crap.
Oh yeah, there's still like cases that are locked to get like all
Yeah.
the fancy pieces that
That's
nobody
right. I
wants.
remember I actually had to. I bought some mechanic gloves, and they were inside locked cases. I probably don't live in a very great area.
Ah, well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know what the equivalent to a U.S. company like Pep Boys or I don't know a car store or a store
Oh.
that just sells everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't know
I don't
either.
know.
That's a good question. Maybe our American audience can enlighten us on that. Like, what is the go-to place for people who watched Fast and the Furious back in 1999 or whenever it was, and still want to make their cars look like that?
And you could also buy a kettle and some pots and pans.
That's right. Yeah. Oh. By the way, Canadian Tire, if you guys don't know, they sell everything.
Everything.
Like everything. I guess except maybe food.
Yeah, they don't. You could get like the little pop and chips and stuff at the front.
Yeah, and you can get like coffee. I know they sell like coffee, like those those instant coffee things for the machines.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they sell that stuff, but they sell pretty much. You know what? Actually, they still sell spinners. Do you remember spinners when they were a thing? If you walk up to a Canadian Tire and you look on the wall, hanging up high on the wall, so nobody steals them, obviously, are just spinners.
Dan. My sister
Oh no! Don't.
on her 1990 Toyota Celica.
Of course.
Yeah.
A
GT. I think it was
1990
GT. GTS.
Oh, a GT.
It was a nice one.
Okay.
On her winter tires, the
No
steel
way.
rims had spinner hubcaps,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
only 3 of them because they lost the 4th one.
Oh man, that's a loss. What a tragic loss.
Oh yeah, it was the worst.
That is. Did you not talk some sense into her?
I it all happens so fast. I don't.
It's like
I had no control.
a tragedy. You can't look away.
No, exactly. Oh yeah, you had to stare.
Ah, man, it's so bad. Canadian Tire, just give it up. It's not
Yeah.
gonna stop trying to make Fast and the Furious happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's over. Get over it.
I guess I'll do my sighting now because you have another one after. So right now, actually, like maybe an hour before we started this podcast, I saw in a mall parking lot a beautiful yellow Acura NSX.
Ooh, what
They're getting
year?
more and more rare. They're getting more and more valuable, especially since they have the new NSX now, don't they? Don't they have
Yep.
like a brand new one?
Yeah, MKBHD just test drove it, I think,
Really?
on his YouTube channel. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we were driving inside the mall in the parking lot. It was parked way in the back where nobody could ding it, which is a smart move on their part. But yeah, it was gorgeous. And I remembered having to drive one when I worked for Auto Trader and not being able to move it because I couldn't fit in it. So
Yeah.
that was a shame. But yeah, the car is beautiful, and it still looks great to this day. Like, it's a head turner for real.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What year was the one you saw?
It looked similar to that one that I linked.
Okay.
So you guys will have that in the description if you're watching on YouTube, and I guess other
Early
platforms,
90s,
possibly.
right?
Yeah, it looked probably. Yeah, I would say so. Really nice looking car though, in great shape too. And like as soon as you drive into that parking lot, that's the first thing you notice is that car amongst the sea of gray, white, and silver and black vehicles.
Yeah. That was cool. Bright yellow. It's nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a standout. So, speaking of Fast and the Furious, that's one of those era cars.
Indeed.
Except 100%. This is a good one.
My next setting is definitely not from the Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
So it took me a while to figure out because I'd never seen one of these in person. I saw a Mercedes-Benz, I guess AMG Brabus.
Ooh, that's serious stuff.
Yeah, just driving up the highway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's why. Like it took me a while to figure out what it was because I'd never seen. I had no idea what it was, and it's not. So this is a, I guess a custom. I guess Brabus is a custom Mercedes-Benz. I don't even know what it is.
Are they like kind of like the? They take Mercedes and they just customize them and upgrade them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brabus, founded in 1977 in Germany, high performance aftermarket tuning company.
Okay.
Which specializes in Mercedes-Benz, Smart Car, and Maybach.
Okay, so do people have to buy the car first and then take it to them, or do they like already buy Mercedes-Benzes and do their thing on them and then sell them?
That's a very good question.
Huh.
When I get my next one, I'll let you know.
What color was it?
It was white. So if you click on the thingy,
yeah, it looked exactly like that.
It was all white with just like carbon fiber or matte black. Everything else, all the accessories were black. The name on the back was black. And yeah, the one in the picture, this isn't exactly the same as this one. But the one I saw definitely looked like a stormtrooper or stormtrooper inspired.
That's how they're describing it. The stormtrooper SUV.
Crazy.
It looks really cool. I actually really like it.
It was so loud. It was insane.
I bet. Look at the way those exhaust tips are fit in there.
Oh yeah. So they have factories. They actually have factories around the world.
Really? So okay.
So you can order one. Oh, okay.
Interesting. So I guess you order one and then they go out and purchase the vehicle from Mercedes. And then deliver to you an incredible machine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty sweet deal they got going on.
Holy cow.
Oh, there's more Brabuses too that are linked. There's a Brabus G-Class.
Wow.
That's a lot of carbon fiber. That is too much carbon fiber. Remember the carbon fiber craze?
Yeah.
Everybody wanted carbon fiber, everything on their cars. I never got into that.
Holy cow. So if you want what is this? I don't even know what this is. What kind of Mercedes is this? I just clicked on one of the ones on the website. It is listed as a Brabus Rocket 900, Mercedes-Benz S65, something.
A Brabus Rocket 900.
1.6 million?
Is that all?
Yeah. Super cheap.
$1.6 million.
Holy crap.
Pretty cool. This thing makes 850 horsepower?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can get old classic ones too, like a Mercedes-Benz 280 SE, like old classic cars.
That's pretty cool.
And they do them up, I guess. That's oof.
And
yeah, all the Maybachs as well. So this is interesting because I'd never seen this before.
Yeah, it's a whole new world for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of your next vehicles is going to be a Brabus.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if we're pronouncing it right. Is it Brabus or Brabus? No idea.
I don't know. Brabus?
But maybe that's a question we can pose to the audience because we're about to answer the audience's questions.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Holy cow, yeah. And most of them, at this time, on whatever day today is why is YouTube down?
Yeah, that's right. As we're
Oh,
recording
man.
this, YouTube is having some problems. It's not
Big
like they never
time.
have problems anyway.
Nope. Go to Vimeo.
Yeah, go to Vimeo.
All right. Ready for questions?
I am ready.
How do I start driving? And the person said, this is from Sot Jackal-Hinter.
Mm-hmm.
Legit question, like for someone who has never driven, what do they need to know?
So, I don't know if they're asking the mechanics of it or like how do they even go about driving. I recommend what I did was I went to a driving school having never even been in a vehicle before in my entire life. It's a little bit terrifying because I went to the school and well, we did like all the written stuff first, right? And then the day came when it was time to actually drive, and he puts me in the driver's seat, and I looked at him. I'm like, I've never actually driven before, right? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead. And then I just started driving, and that's it. You just dive right in, but you got to do it with an instructor. Sot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I said that with contempt. Sot.
Sot. We actually have a few other people saying the same thing.
Really?
I also wish to ask this. I've had a fear of being in control of the vehicle for most of my life.
Oh, it's easier than you think.
Yeah.
It really is, as long as you're aware. What? But? There's a but?
But rightfully so to have a little bit of fear.
Of course.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's a 3,000-pound machine that you've got at your, disposal. I guess disposal is probably not the right word for it.
No.
But of course, yeah, you got to be a little bit nervous. Those nerves go away very, very quickly. You feel once you actually start driving, you feel very much in control of the vehicle, and you can maneuver that thing, and you can stop it, and you can make it go. It's really not a big deal. Just pay attention to your instructors. I recommend instructors. Pay attention to speed limits, and definitely check. Here's a habit. Two habits I developed early on, and I still do to this day. As soon as I get into a car, I always put on my seatbelt. It's like without even thinking, I'm putting on my seatbelt.
Before you move.
Yeah, absolutely. Like before I even turn the car on, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do it before I even turn the car on. And then every time I change lanes, and this annoys me sometimes, but you have to do it. And I do it just out of habit. I always look over my shoulder to my blind spot. If I'm on like a 2-lane road and there is nobody around, I will 100% look over my shoulder to check my blind spot.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yep. Very. For me, it's interesting because I never had trainers, or I didn't take the driving course when I was a kid. But I did not. But I had a dad that helped me buy a car at 15 before I had my driver's license, and just drove laps around the street.
Okay.
So I don't recommend doing that. I recommend highly, if you're asking the question, go and take the course or find a course. I think you can take them whatever age you are. It doesn't matter. You can go to one of the ministry or something. I don't know what it is in the States, but you can take a course anytime. And if you're asking the question, I recommend taking the course.
Absolutely.
And check your blind spots, put on your seatbelt.
Head on a swivel is another thing too.
Yeah.
Or not head on a swivel, maybe your eyes on a swivel, because you got to be looking at your mirrors and stuff constantly. But it's a lot easier than it looks. I think once you guys start doing it and getting the hang of it, it's going to be natural to you. Yeah,
it comes pretty simple after a while. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah,
it's just a really big,
expensive, powerful bike. I found a cool question here from Canuckenstein. Coolest car you have ever seen in your neighborhood? Doesn't have to be a fancy car or just expensive, just cool.
Oh, interesting. That's a good question.
There's a guy down my street who has 2 classic cars, and one of them is an old, I would say 50s panel van, but it's like a rat rod style. It is awesome. Yeah, every time I see this car like on the street, like he parks it, he drives it around, I guess. I've seen him drive it rarely, but most of the time he takes it out of his garage and I see it parked on the side of the road, and I always slow down when I pass by. It's really, really cool car. Other than that, there are a lot of electric cars on my street, and I'm not a big fan of those.
Smart people on your street.
Smart people on my street. Yeah, I think it would have to be that guy's car. It's awesome. Like, I wish next time I'll try to take a picture and I'll post it on Twitter or on the First Car Podcast Twitter.
Yeah, sounds good.
Next time I see it. It might be a while before I see it though, because the weather's getting cold. He's probably putting it away for the winter.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on my street because my street's mostly old grandparents and they all have
Caprices. Oh.
yeah, Caprices and stuff like that. But growing up in my childhood neighborhood, I remember the day that my neighbor brought home his Corvette.
Ooh.
And this, like, as a kid, it's like, oh, ooh, that's a Corvette. That's cool. He won a Corvette.
Well, he won it.
He won a Corvette by opening a bottle of oil.
What?
Mobil One Oil had a contest where if you open the cap and it like does a sound and there's something on the cap, you win a Corvette, and he won the Corvette. There's a picture of him.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, it hit the news, and so he brought home. It was a brand new Corvette at the time, probably early 2000s.
I always thought
he still has it.
Oh, no way.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool. That is cool.
He still has it today. I drove by visiting some friends in the neighborhood the other week, and yeah, he still has it. It's still parked outside right next to his Harley.
That's pretty cool. I always thought like those contests were bogus.
Yeah.
I always thought that. Oh yeah, sure, somebody's gonna win a Corvette.
Or you get a lease, a 1-year lease. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's right. You win a Corvette, and it's like a 1/16th scale model.
Yeah. Congratulations.
That's awesome, though. That's a really cool story.
All right. Callum Musgrave. Bought my first car back in May after passing my test. How does one get into cars?
That's a pretty cool question. Like,
yeah.
How do you get into cars? I think so. He said he bought his car already.
Yeah. Bought my first car back in May. Yeah.
That's like, how do you get into cars? Like, I don't know. For me, it was always sort of like, cars are cool, and I want to know more about them, and I want to drive them. But for some people, you just drive like they don't think twice about what they're driving.
Yeah.
Or what they see.
For me, it was just growing up because I was around my dad, who was just huge into cars. Always working on cars, always talking about them. He always got the Motor Trend magazine every month, and they just I guess I just absorbed all that.
Yeah, my dad was never into cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he was never really into cars. Like he likes his Mercedes. I mean, the first really cool car he bought when he came over here from Portugal. First, he had a blue Honda Accord, I think, like in the 70s, which is a cool car now. But then, or was it I think it was a blue Honda something. Then he got his like 1979 Mercedes in brown, and he loved that thing. And I can tell he really loved it, but he was never really into cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I developed, like even before, I was going to say, it was the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, for sure.
But it wasn't.
100%.
Even before, I was drawing, not driving. I was drawing cars when I was a kid. Like I really wanted to be like a car designer. And I would just draw my own concept cars and stuff as I was a kid, or when I was a kid. And so it started early for me. So I'm not sure how I got into it. I mean, if you have I guess maybe a slight interest in cars, maybe go to some car shows and check out some classics. Go to like what's it called? The yearly new car show.
Yeah.
That they hold. Whatever it's called. How can I not remember the name right now? It's in February. They hold it in February in Toronto most of the time. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Those things.
Yeah. The car convention.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. There's an actual name for it.
The auto show?
The motor something. How am I not remembering this?
Go look at some cars in a building.
2019. Is it Motor Trend? No. Anyway. It's just called the Auto Show, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the Auto Show.
International Audio,
Audio Show.
Audio Show.
You go and check out some sweet tunes. The Auto Show. Go to like the auto shows and stuff. see if it, and you don't have to be into cars. If you're not into cars, you're not into cars. That's all. But how do you get into it? I guess you just have to develop an interest somehow.
I think there's different ways of being into cars. Like for some people, there's hands-on where you just want to work on cars. You're always adding something, changing something. There's people that just like to drive or just like to admire cars and whatever floats your boat. Just, if you want to be around cars, be around cars.
Exactly. They're fun.
They are.
I got an interesting
but dangerous.
question. Yes, of course. They're giant metal machines at your control, and you must exercise caution.
Exactly.
And wear your seatbelt.
And
a helmet. Just kidding.
And blind spot.
Not a helmet. Blind spots. Super important. Dax has a pretty cool question. You have $40,000 to spend. Do you get one $40,000 car, two $20,000 cars, or four $10,000 cars? I love this question.
Interesting.
You first.
Okay.
This is an easy answer for me. Super easy.
Yeah, one $40,000 car.
That's what you would get?
Yep.
Really?
Well, that depends. Does my wife need a car? Okay, actually,
hypothetically speaking, just for you, let's not think about your family, Jeff. Always throwing your family in our face.
Okay, is this on? Okay, I got some questions, but I'm trying not to overthink it.
Okay.
Which is hard because, is this on top of like my daily driver, or is this replacing my daily driver?
I would say, let's just say you don't have any vehicles.
Okay, I have nothing.
You have nothing.
In that case, I probably wouldn't. Whoa, that's okay. If it's easy for you, go ahead.
Okay, it's easy for me. I would get two $20,000 cars.
Yeah.
And because for $20,000 you can get a decent car, whether secondhand, and in some cases you can get new cars for $20,000. But I would probably go secondhand. I would get a fun car and I would get a practical car. Easy decision. For $10,000 cars, for $10K, you're looking at cars that are probably going to develop some problems or already have some problems currently. So you don't want to mess with that stuff. And one car for $40K, one car is just not enough. And for $40,000 for one car, you're not going to get a super fun car for $40,000. You're probably going to get something good on gas, decent, but very practical. I want one practical and I want one fun car. Two cars,
all right,
$20K.
That makes sense. I might split mine 30 and 10 if that's possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that works too.
Get a little bit nicer normal car, a little practical one. And then with the 10K, you get something fun. Maybe not something like in super good shape, but you can get something decent, right?
You know what you could do? You could do $39,900 and then spend the other $100 on like 3 or 4 Eagle Talons.
Oh, perfect. I'll be set for life.
Oh, the Eagle Talon shots keep coming.
When will it stop?
They just keep coming.
Okay. John Hitbox says, what's the deal with automobiles? You still have to manually press the gas and brake. Why not call them semi-mobiles?
Okay, so you read that wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Because that is totally a sign. What's the deal with automobiles? You still have to manually press the gas and brake. Why not call them semi-mobiles? Because they're not. They're only semi-automatic. They're not automatic. They're not automobiles. Right. Great question, John. Let's move
on. Okay, here we go. This kind of relates to our last question.
Yeah.
Lord Giacomo?
Lord Giacomo.
Giacomo?
Yeah, that's an Italian name.
Okay. Every time I see that, I want to say Giacomo. Anyways. Any good recommendations for a safe, affordable first car? Getting learner's permit soon and would love to have some ideas for future. For once I am actually planning ahead.
Planning ahead is good. Safe, affordable first car. There are so many questions here that we can ask, like what's your budget and what kind of car you're looking for. I would say generally go with something used as a first car because you're going to learn you might bump stuff, hopefully not. You might maybe skip an oil change or two, hopefully not. But get something used for not a whole lot of money because it's your first car. It's like you're gonna make mistakes with your first car.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, yeah, it depends on budget and all that stuff. But if you're
2000
yeah,
Ford Focus in black.
sure.
That's what you should get because that's what I
That's
got.
what
And
you shouldn't get.
look at me now.
Exactly. So if you do that, you're the next vintage beef.
Yeah, there you go. You're the guy who'll pay 20,000 for one car, 20,000 for another. Let's have a fun car.
So I don't recommend getting something for first car, get something nice, but make sure you look around. Don't jump on the first thing. Like remember what Destin from Smart Everyday said when he was on?
Maybe.
Him and his wife went out and looked at two cars. One was a Supra, one was something safe and reliable, and he went with the Supra just because it was a Supra, and it actually broke down on the way home.
Yeah.
So,
I guess that yeah.
Do your homework and make sure you make a good decision. Take someone that knows something about cars.
We literally were about to say the exact same thing. Yeah, take somebody with you. Your dad, have him lowball the crap out of somebody selling a Nissan 240 SX, your dream car as a kid. Have him offer $4,000 less than they're asking, and then just have them walk you to the door. That was great. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
You nailed it.
When I was buying my second car, my dad dressed like a hobo, just to make it look like we didn't have
for negotiating purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's pretty good.
He had scruffy stuff on, paint covered pants, and didn't comb his hair. And here's our offer. We can't afford it anymore.
Look at me. Look at how I'm dressed.
It might work at some places, but most likely not at any of them.
Let's do one more question, maybe.
Okay.
From Guy Philippe. Oh, Guy Philippe. Let's just go with Guy Philippe. Because I don't know what the last three. He asks, or she, I don't know, it says Guy, but that could be Guy Philippe. It's a guy. Do you think cars with full autopilot in the future should still require a license to drive? Great question. Great question. And I'll add to that. Self-driving cars, if you're just going to hop in a car and it's going to drive for you, would drinking and driving be legal? Or like smoking? By the way, smoking and driving, we could talk about that too, because it's going to become legal here in Canada tomorrow. Well, as we're recording this.
Smoking marijuana.
Yeah, will become legal in Canada. Not smoking and driving. I'm not saying that's going to be legal. I'm just saying smoking marijuana is going to be legal in Canada.
It's not that liberal.
Right. So, yeah, that's an interesting question there from Guy Philippe. Do you think cars with full autopilot in the future should still require a license to drive? That's a hard one to answer.
So within, I'd say, the next 15 years, I'm going to say 15 years, I'll say yes, all of those cars, because that's not, I don't think, I think in our lifetime, honestly, within our lifetime, if we live nice, long lives, these self-driving cars will become mandatory in some fashion as to completely replace things like taxis and buses and stuff like that. This is what's going to happen. Like long-haul truckers are no longer going to be needed, I think.
Right.
But within the early stages of that, at least the first probably 10 years or so of that, yes, you will need a license. You will need someone in there, just like they're doing now. There's always a driver sitting there with their hands on the wheel, usually, just in case.
Right.
But once it gets refined enough, then I think that will make the driver obsolete.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that. Like, hey, you don't need a license to ride a bus. And that's essentially what you'll be doing.
Yep. Yeah, You're not the driver. You're a passenger.
Exactly. And the same thing with a plane. You don't need the pilot's license to fly in a plane. So, full autopilot in the future, you will not require a license. That's crazy to think about. Like, there's going to be all kinds of cars on the road. Not one of them He's going to have a fully licensed driver behind it. That's really weird to think about. And what about the alcohol thing?
Yeah, I don't know because, so at least in Ontario, I don't know about the rest of the world. If, for example, on a boat, if you want to drink alcohol on a boat, your boat needs to have a toilet and a sink.
Okay.
That's the law for whatever.
Is it
I guess
really?
if you're sick or something. Yeah. So you need to have a toilet and a sink if you want to drink on a boat. You can't drink on, technically, you can't drink on like one of those little dinghy rafts or anything like that.
Huh.
So with a car, I don't think many cars are going to be holding have a toilet and a sink in them.
Yeah.
Unless it's an RV.
Yeah, and then see, that's a little bit of a trickier one because I was gonna say like you're allowed to drink and ride the bus.
Are you?
You are, but they're not gonna take like you're. I've seen drunk people on the bus.
It doesn't mean you're allowed to.
Right. I guess that's true. But like in your own vehicle.
Yep.
Because it kind of is your property. It's kind of like a moving house, and you're allowed to be drunk in your house. But then at the same time, yeah, because you're not going to be in control. I think it'll be allowed.
Oh, controversial.
I know.
I don't know. It's interesting. Because if you don't need a license to technically be a passenger in one of these cars, then yeah, you're not in control ever.
Right.
Most likely at this point there probably won't be a steering wheel, or like the chairs will be turned inwards or something like that.
Yeah, will it be like public intoxication if you're out in your car drunk?
In your car.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Get on it, Justin Trudeau. We need to know what's going to happen.
If you can get drunk, you can technically, you can ride in a taxi and Uber and stuff like that while drunk.
That's true.
Drink in them? I don't know.
Wow, so many gray area.
Yeah.
The license thing is not that gray, though. I think I agree with you. It's like you're not going to be required to have a license. You're going to purchase that vehicle. You might need some sort of a permit to own a vehicle or something. I don't know. I'm sure the government will find some way of nickel and diming you for that. But in terms of driving it, you literally just buy it, and then it's in your house, and then you push buttons, and it takes you where you want to go.
Yeah.
That's going to be a sad day for car lovers everywhere.
That's going to be an interesting time because I guarantee that that's happening in our lifetime, that they will be, because if you think about it, okay, don't think about this from the joy of driving, because both of us like to drive.
Okay.
We'll figure out something there.
All right. Okay. We'll make it work.
Illegal driving at night.
Yeah.
We'll hack a steering wheel onto these things.
The new charge is not going to be like a driving while under the influence. It's just going to be driving. He got pulled over for driving. What?
Oh man. Okay. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
Don't think of it in that way.
Yeah. Okay. So in the future, within our lifetime, cars are going to be self-driving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember where I'm going with that.
And you said you were starting to say, yeah. Okay.
Got it. Thank you. So if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense to have. It's both scary and good at the same time, because if you have all these cars hooked into your local traffic network, for example, into all the lights, all the stop signs and everything, technically you can completely eliminate all traffic signs, all traffic stops, everything.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no need, if all the cars are talking to each other and have some sort of communication and built-in right of way, no matter what, you don't need stop signs, you don't need stop lights, because it's just go, because the cars are smart enough to figure out who needs to go, when they need to go, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be much more safer, because you have a very consistent level of driving with very consistent skill level.
Right.
People aren't texting, people aren't bad drivers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Or if you buy an Eagle brand self-driving car, it might crash.
Eagle brand. You got to buy like bottles of coolant that goes with it. You got to have a license to be a mechanic to drive an Eagle brand vehicle.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, I don't know. I think it makes sense, but it's kind of scary at the same time.
I did say that was the last question, but I got one more, which I think will be fun to answer. I'm gonna modify it a little bit. Alpha Shark asks, "What was the best year for manufacturing cars?" But I'm gonna say what was the best decade because a year is really hard to pick. The
Ooh,
best decade for manufacturing cars.
okay. I'd say 65 to 75.
Ooh, that's really close to what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like 55 to 65.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because to me, everything after 60, not everything, most of the stuff after 65 gets a little boxy for me. And most
Yeah.
of the stuff before 55 is a little too roundish for
Mm-hmm.
me. But in that nice little sweet spot there, those are like my favorite shaped vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said 65 to 75 just because technically the Mustang came out in what 64 and a half, I think. It
Could
came
be.
out late in 64.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I loved all of the early Mustangs, Challengers, Chargers, all those cars that took place in those years. But yeah, just early 70s they start declining a little bit to me. Like you said, they get a little bit boxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So late 60s, I that's my time.
That's your bread and butter.
Yeah. And of course, what was the second part? Was like the brand or something?
Yeah, what kind of car was the best during that time? Like SUV, truck, sedans, etc. is the rest of the question.
Easily the fastback style car, right? The
Yeah,
Mustang or the Charger.
sure.
American Muscle.
The Charger's really nice. I really love the Charger.
Oh yeah.
For me, oh man, I love Galaxies. I have two of them.
Yeah.
I love that style of car, Impalas, the Buick that I own as well, like that long two-door sedan, no post vehicle. I just love that look. I love the way they glide on the road. I don't know
Yep.
if I could pick one, but it would be that sort of look. Anything with that sort of look. I'm not partial to any brand or anything like that. I just love the way those specifically look. Like my Meteor,
Yeah.
I had a 63 Meteor, I believe. It was a four-door. But man, the shape of that vehicle, like the profile of that car, gorgeous.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Those were
Yeah.
the days.
Those were the day. Oh, if I could go back to those days. I was a young lad. I wasn't born.
Hmm.
I wasn't born.
No, neither of us were
Just making
born.
sure everybody knows that. I'm not that old.
You're old.
I'm old. Not that old.
Not that old.
Should we move on to the news?
Let's do some news.
Okay, let's discuss first things first.
Okay.
Volkswagen.
So, if Good is listening, we'll tell him to
Oh
listen.
boy, poor Good.
Oh man, this is gonna hit him rough. Uh, Volkswagen's diesel scandal again, because we've been through this before, right? A couple years ago, they had a big emissions thing where they were faking test scores, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But now this is gonna hit them with $33 billion in new penalty for Audi.
Right, because Volkswagen owns Audi.
Yeah.
Man, like I know that they're huge corporations, and I know that they could probably afford $33 billion, but that's got to be not an easy thing. Like that's got to be a significant portion of the company's coffers.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's
$33 billion. That's $3,300 million.
Yep.
It's a lot.
It's a
Or
lot
is
of
it?
money.
Wait, I think actually that's $33,000 million,
It's a lot of millions.
right?
Man, what are they doing?
So the guy, the Audi CEO was put in jail.
He was okay, this just boggles my mind. The guy was put in jail over selling cars. I understand, obviously, he broke the law,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
just it's crazy that this old rich guy that sold cars is now in jail because
Well, He cheated.
I know.
He
That's
lied.
just crazy.
It's illegal. You
It
can't.
is.
I mean, that's a lot of emissions that were headed out into the atmosphere that were unaccounted for.
Yep.
Because of this guy. I don't know if it's his sole decision, but because of his company's acts, I guess. That's insane. What is going to happen to Volkswagen? Like, they're just going to make bugs from now on, like really cheap cars, so they can't afford to put the technology into new vehicles?
It has to. Well, remember we were talking to Good, and all their cars, they're stopping the new Beetle. And
That's right.
And we were saying that they're coming out with all electric cars.
Yeah.
Because, well, are they going to be gas that they're called electric?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, these are electric cars, I promise. What's the smoke coming out of the back? It's just artificial steam that we make in the vehicle to make it look a little more authentic. Nothing. What's the sound? It's just a little stereo. We play music of the engine revving.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious. Volkswagen. We're gonna see a headline: Volkswagen electric cars found to be 100% fuel powered, gasoline powered.
That would be amazing. Why do I have to put gas in? Oh, it's just to lubricate.
It's just a lubrication for the motors, the electric motors.
Oh man,
poor Volkswagen / Audi.
Not only 33 billion, but Volkswagen and Audi stocks are trading 11% lower so far this year.
Oh, this is going to affect them.
11% is a lot.
11% is a lot, and I can only get worse, I would imagine.
Man.
Because this is a pretty new revelation. I would love to see the stock prices tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
And
it's crazy. So in this article it says they've accepted the fine imposed by German prosecutors, which waives their right to appeal it. So they're fully aware of everything, and they're accepting. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Audi, folks, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know. Don't do that.
No,
other car companies. Speaking of not doing things, let's skip one there. I'm gonna do the next one.
Okay.
So the new design for the 2019 Camaro has been revealed, and it looks pretty cool.
I haven't looked at this yet.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It says that it got a huge makeover. They mentioned how different it looks. It doesn't look that different, but you could definitely see that it got sleeker. It looks faster. Very smooth lines. I don't know how I feel about it though.
Yeah, so if you've seen any of the more recent Camaros, what's the other one that looks like this that they've been releasing?
The Challenger or Charger?
No. Okay, well, anyway.
Is it Chevy?
Yeah.
That looks like this?
Never mind.
Okay.
Just ignore that. It looks okay. I'm not a big fan of that front end.
Yeah, but they're going for that look because the 2019 Chevy Blazer looks similar.
Okay.
They're going. So
they're redoing their whole front end.
Yeah. I kind of like it, but I don't know. I feel like all the cars are starting to look the same again.
Yeah, I could see this being like someone think this is a Charger.
Or even the new Ford Mustangs. They have sort of a similar, granted it's not that narrow, the front grille, but it's still a similar style.
It doesn't look like something unique.
No, exactly.
Especially that last picture of the whole thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looks like it looks like a Mustang or something that somebody put some a bumper on and put a Chevy symbol on it.
Yeah. On a side note, what is with all the trim levels that the Camaro has? Like, I've seen so many different trim levels. What is going on? How many trim levels will they have?
I don't know.
There's an RS and the SS, and then there's a
SS is something else.
Is it?
Wait, that's the German SS. Never mind.
Oh.
But there is a Chevy Camaro SS.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's like a LS I think I've seen, and there's all kinds of S's. Just make a really cool car and sell it.
I don't really like Chevy anymore, to be honest.
Burn, suck it, Chevy
Suck
lovers.
it, Chevy. Except if you want to give me a free car.
Chevy, like a
Chevy.
rock. Wait, is that the saying? I think that was the saying. I have no
I think
idea.
that was, yeah. Where's
Okay.
that's GMC,
Oh,
which is Chevy.
okay.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Everything is
Like
great.
Like a Chevy.
Like a Chevy. That color, by the way, the color they chose to reveal this vehicle, by the way, it was not a good color. It's like a
Did you see what it's called?
green. The color?
Or what they're calling it on the article?
Highlighter yellow?
Highlighter yellow.
But it's greenish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of greeny.
It definitely
yellowy.
looks like somebody highlighted this vehicle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I just wanted to mention that because people were kind of up in a tizzy in social media, like, oh, look at the new Camaro. Like a lot of people were saying it got a huge facelift. It just, to me, the grill just got sort of flattened a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't look it doesn't look like a huge facelift. Sure.
It's a mild facelift. It's like a facelift you go to a doctor and you pay like half price. The doctor's okay.
What?
Yeah, the facelift doctors. You know, when you get a facelift.
Oh yeah.
You
of
pay
course.
for the facelift you get. If you're going to pay crap prices for facelifts, you're going to get a bad facelift.
Oh, I've seen some bad facelifts.
Oh, let me tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, poor Chevy.
Yeah. Chevy. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah, we'll do, how much time? Oh, yeah, I guess we'll do, oh, man, let's do two more, but let's try to go through Matt's, and then I'll do the 2020 Bronco.
So, we had Matt Farah on a long time ago now, a couple months ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked very specifically about his finished Ford Foxbody Mustang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how happy he was with it, that it was finally finished, I think is what he was saying,
Yes.
if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And how much he loved it, and that was the thing. And all of a sudden, is this today? Is this week? This week it's up on Bring a Trailer
Yeah.
for auction. You can buy it.
It ends in 6 days. The current bid is already 65. By the way, we should mention this is for charity. Like Matt is doing this.
Okay.
I believe it's 50% charity and 50% for, I guess, himself, I would imagine. I think I read that somewhere. Hopefully I'm not getting it wrong. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. It's at $65,000 American already, which is what, like 90,000 Canadian?
Yeah,
For a Foxbody Mustang?
It's a nice looking Mustang.
It is, but not $90,000 nice.
Nope. Not for me, that's for sure.
I mean, I love Mustangs and all. I kind of really like the material he used for the interior.
I know, that is nice. Just looking at that.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, it's full bore custom everything.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great, but I would not pay $65,000 for it.
American.
Oh yeah, $65,000 American. It's a bajillion dollars.
It's totally a bajillion dollars.
That's a lot. It's nice. I guess you're paying because see, this is the hard thing. When somebody like us puts in a lot of time and a lot of money into a car to customize it way beyond what it originally was, what is it actually worth? Because to us, it's worth all that extra time and money and parts that we put into it. But to Joe Blow, it's still a Mustang.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, as far as Mustangs go, this is like the nicest Mustang I think I've ever seen. The nicest Foxbody. So it is definitely. And then on top of that, I think maybe the charity thing helps a little bit too, because Matt is a little bit more high profile. Maybe he attracted a couple of, high dollar bidders who are willing to bid the extra dollars just because they know it's going towards charity and they're doing a good thing and they want Matt Farah's Mustang. Yeah. But yeah, if it was like you and me, even if we were doing this for charity, I don't see my car getting anywhere near this.
No, not a chance.
Like $12,000.
Yeah.
Like what regular Fox bodies usually go for, despite all, because in reality, it is a Fox-bodied Mustang. Yeah. It's got a lot of work done to it.
Added onto it.
Right, but does that usually increase value? No.
Not a whole lot, no.
No, usually less. Usually decreases value. Yeah. Well, depending on how well you did the things, but yeah, that's good. Well, good for him though. Like 50% to charity, That's a lot
all
of
cool.
cash. Yeah.
Yeah, 50% will go to the charity of the winner's choice.
Right. And then if you're interested in Mustangs and you've got this cash to spend, this is a nice Mustang. Not going to lie. This thing is gorgeous. I would drive the crap out of this.
If you win, you need to take us out for a spin.
Absolutely. Even though there's only 2 seats. So one at a time.
I'll drive.
One at a time, and you're not invited. It's just Jeff and I.
Just ship us the car. We'll ship it back when we're done.
There you go. When we're done, we'll put a couple thousand miles on it. Yeah, really cool car though.
6 bids.
Good luck. Oh, only 6?
6 bids totaling up to. I wonder what it started at. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Good job, Matt. The last thing I wanted to talk about today, a lot of hype on the social medias again about the new Ford Bronco. And this thing looks cool.
Oh yeah.
In this day and age when everybody kind of looks the same, this Ford Bronco does not look the same as everything else. It looks boxy. There is rumored to be a 2-door version. There's rumored to be a 7-speed manual option.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think?
So the images that are there, they're obviously not 100% final, right?
Right.
But yeah, this looks like the original Broncos, like the good ones without the top, without the doors. It looks cool, I think. Like
it does look cool. So the images we're seeing, by the way, I don't think so. Ford actually confirmed that it would be back in 2020, and they teased the image. The one teaser image is the one where it's covered.
Okay.
And so people have been speculating on what it'll look like, but just the teaser image where it's actually covered, that is a boxy looking truck right there, and I love that.
It is just squares and obviously a tire on the back.
Right.
And yeah. And then someone's gone in and made what I guess a simulation of what it might look like underneath that. And it was cool. I like that.
Yeah, and
that's
I can
a nice
see
looking truck.
Yeah, I mean that's and then the option to have a 7-speed manual.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that's just a rumor. But yeah, Ford is actually working with GetRag on a new 7-speed manual for possible use in the Bronco.
Ooh.
Right? And even any manual, honestly, for an SUV, how rare is that nowadays?
Yeah. And it's interesting that most SUVs you think of are not boxy at all.
Right.
There's obviously the Land Rovers and the G-Wagons that are very boxy.
Mm-hmm.
But you think of boxy SUVs and it takes you back a few years.
Yeah.
But if done right, like this looks like it's done right, it'll look real nice.
Yeah, I hope the mock-ups here are if it looks half as good as those, I think this is going to be a hit.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Good job, Ford. Good way to show Chevy how it's done. You're gonna be so mad. Oh man. And on that note, I guess we're calling it an evening and calling it a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful episode of just quality one-on-one time between Jeff and I, and you guys, I guess.
Yep.
So it's one-on-one on many. Starting to get weird now.
Yep, definitely.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the support, all the patrons and all the wonderful viewers and listeners. We really appreciate it. Anything you want to add?
No, thanks for listening.
Okay, perfect. Be sure to head on over to youtube.com/myfirstcar podcast. First Car Podcast, is it?
Yep, My First Car Podcast.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. And
or just go to the website.
Go to the website. Exactly. myfirstcar.net has all the links you'll ever need in your entire life. Yep. It's a beautiful page.
Beautiful.
Just beautiful. And I guess we'll see you in the next one.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.